Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Black Tower, where another institution inside the realm of the Wheel of Time. Welcome and sit and join us for your weekly dose of madness. As you all know, we are here to discuss things Wheel of Time. I am Josh.
And I am Andrew.
And I am Daniel. And before we go any further into this madness dosage, we got to protect the people.
Your dose of taint.
So today we are actually going to be covering mostly castings and things pertaining to the television show. So we're not really going to get too spoilery into the series. I imagine we're going to talk at least a little bit about the first book. So if you haven't read the first book, I don't know how you found us, but also you're in danger of being spoiled. And there is also a small chance that we will get later on into other books, depending on our discussion. So we will do our best, but technically we could have stuff all the way through the series. Either Andrew will edit it out or will warn you better with it.
I want to lay this challenge down right here, right now. This is live. I have not spoken to my cohorts about this, but I want to lay this challenge down right here, right now. If I drop a spoiler during this episode, I will have a dose of taint. And I will record it and post it. Because I have
is everybody
more hot sauce
down for that challenge.
I mean,
so this will be a spoiler-free episode.
Yes, if I
my house has been clean.
Yeah, no, I kind of like that. So today is going to be a spoiler-free episode. Again, I think that we're probably going to talk a little bit about the first book, so it's not going to be like totally spoiler-free, but we will spoiler-free it past the first book. So you should be safe for that. And if anybody fails at that, we'll edit it out, and then they'll owe us a video.
Oh, God, I am so fucked.
All right. Well, let's just jump into it.
If you spoil, period, or if you spoil without warning first?
Okay, no.
If you spoil, period.
No, if you spoil without warning. Now, granted, try not to spoil with warning, but if you spoil without warning, then yeah, you must taint it up inside your mouth hole.
That's the best phrasing ever. Taint it up inside your mouth hole. Love it. Perfect. Okay, so let's jump into it. So the first thing, the only casting that we really haven't discussed, because it's the most recent official casting announcement, is Mr. Roose Bolton, as we know him from Game of Thrones, but Michael McElhatton. McElhatton?
The old McHatton.
Let's go with McAlliton.
I'm
going to go with McAlliton.
Oh my God.
Kevin McAllister?
And as we all know at this point in time, if you haven't heard, he will be playing the part of Tam Al'Thor.
Is that Al'Thor? Is that Al'Thor? Is that Al'Thor? Is that
Al'Thor?
That there Ra'an Al'Thor.
Tam Al'Thor. But he will be playing the part of Tam Al'Thor, which we know as the father of one of our Emmons Fielders. Dad. Yes, Daddy. And so he's going to be... Now, the cool thing is Rafe, when he made the announcement, actually... Because, of course, everybody's going to say, Game of Thrones, he's going to be in Game of Thrones. And Rafe actually made a specific statement when they announced it to say, I did not want to use... Yeah, read it. Go for it.
So this is Rafe's tweet.
Which came out a number of minutes after what Wheel of Time on Prime posted it on their Twitter feed.
Right.
And Rafe said, my first instinct was to avoid using actors from Game of Thrones, but the truth is Michael wow. We messed around with his name so much I actually
McAlliton.
McAlliton was just too damn good. And if we're gonna do it, we might as well take the man responsible for the red wedding and turn him into the father we all wish we had. Hashtag Wheel of Time.
So in a way, this is his like redemption, right? We've seen you play a heartless, ruthless bastard.
Arc? What?
Now let's see if you can play the enigmatic and mysterious Tam Al'Thor.
You know the guy that made all those made sure all those people died? Yeah, he's gonna be dad.
He's gonna be daddy.
And of course, Wheel of Time on Prime, they did pick a really good quote.
But he ain't your daddy.
They did pick a really good quote to go with the announcement for Tam Al'Thor, of course. The choice isn't always about what you do, son, but why you do it. And we are not going to tell you at what point in the series that quote comes from. It could be the beginning, it could be the end, it could be the middle, it could be anywhere, because we don't even know if he's around for the entire book or not.
It is a beautiful quote, and it is a beautiful, and I know why they chose that quote, because it to me it gives like some layering, some depth to Tam Al'Thor.
Did you just call Tam an ogre?
Tam is like ogres. Ogres are like onions. No, but he does.
Tam Al'Thors are like onions. They have.
I love, one of the things I love about Tam is how, you know, he's got that dad energy. I mean, he's wise, he's smart, he's got that, you know, like, and again, this is not a spoiler because it's like chapter 2 of the first book. But you know, when Matt and Rand are like, Matt's trying to get Rand to go play with him, and Rand's like, "I promised Dad I'd help him," and then Matt's like, and then Tam turns around, he's like, "Oh, Matt, you've come to help Rand. Thank you, boy." And Matt's like, "Actually, I was just, no, go ahead, here you go," and just like loads him up with a bunch of crap. And Matt's like, "Great, I just got roped into help." I'm like, it's such a dad interaction. It's such a dad thing. And I love the character of Tam Al'Thor for those kinds of reasons. But then he's got that depth where, you know, he knows what it's like to travel the hard and weary road. And I love this character so much. And I'm genuinely excited to see what Mr. Meckelhatten can bring to the role.
I'm pretty sure Daniel's going to kill us both within a matter of minutes. Like the next time you get a package in your mail that is from California, do not open it. I repeat, abort mission. You thought the maze room was hard to escape. Wait till you open my package of doom.
Silence!
I killed you. I love it.
Did you see Taviran podcast response to the announcement for Tam?
I did not.
They tweeted, "The new reigning daddy of light."
Good Lord.
Perfect.
In sharp contrast to Jack of the Shadows' tweet, which was dope.
Dope.
Thanks, Jack.
Shout out to both you guys.
Right down to the heart of the issue. Just
always keeping it classy. Loving it.
Short, simple, sweet, to the point.
Loving every minute of it. Yeah, I went lover boy on you.
You
I
did?
don't care.
It happened. We were all there.
I think it
so
with my one good eye.
Did you guys know that he was also in Justice League? Just looking at his,
yes. He played the terrorist leader.
No, because why would you ever have watched that movie?
You have to watch it at least once on principle.
No,
like
did you know that he has done voices for video games?
I know. I did know that. I did know he was a voice actor.
I believe that.
He did. He voiced Vance Travers in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and he's voiced Gaius Van Baelsar in Final Fantasy Stormblood and Shadowbringers. They have numbers associated, but I am too lazy to read Roman numerals. Nice. I think it's 14. Yeah, 14.
Yeah, Final
Fantasy 14.
It's the online one.
From the
that one I played for a while. I didn't play too much of that one.
He played Andrei Stephenson in episode something in Russian that I can't even read from Chernobyl. I can't read English, much less Russian, so I'm not even going to attempt it. Starts with a V.
I have not watched that.
Nonya Ampang.
I've only heard good things about it, but I've not actually watched Chernobyl yet.
Yeah, but he's got a very extensive career in TV and film, and I think he's got a pretty decent stage career.
Yeah, he's a very talented guy, and I'm really looking forward to see. And I mean, even just looking at his picture on the IMDb, just his main, professional photo there, suit and tie. He looks like Tam. Like I can put Tam Al'Thor to him. I'm fresh through my reread. I'm on book 2 of my reread right now. And I'm just like, wow, this is real. Like this is so fresh and so clean. Exactly. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm very, very happy with this.
Now that we've gone ahead and talked about that a little, and I obviously that's a big part of this. I do actually want to take a moment to talk a little bit about that in terms of, we see this a lot. That people get cast for things, and then they'll be sort of typecast as a particular thing for the rest of their career, or they'll try to break out of it or anything like that.
Right.
This is actually one of the first times that I feel like I've seen someone come out and say that that their first instinct was actually to not go ahead and use anybody from an entire series.
Right. Well, and it makes sense, though. I mean...
Oh, it totally makes sense.
There is a very... And as we talked about in the pre-show a little bit, we're already kind of bracing for when we're watching The Wheel of Time and someone goes, oh, they got that from Game of Thrones. And we're all going to have to roll our eyes and groan and go, no.
Well, I mean,
Wheel of Time was prior to Game of Thrones.
That's really the question, because again, the books, almost all of them were prior to almost all of the Game of Thrones books, or the A Song of Ice and Fire books. Right. However, as mentioned already, as you said in the pre-show, we did talk about the fact that the television series is absolutely, without a doubt, unequivocally coming after.
Yes.
So really, it's going to be a question of what parts of it are going to come totally uniquely, and what parts of it are actually going to be inspired by other media. Because there are absolutely going to be certain shots and whatnot that are going to be very Game of Thronesy.
Right. Oh yeah, of course.
No, well,
because I mean they both take place in a medieval-esque time.
For example,
it's a fantasy story, so yes,
wait, this didn't really
have. No.
Maybe it did, and we've just forgotten.
Well, of course, because when the age that comes again, everyone who remembers it is long past. I'm messing it up bad.
Stop before you get yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, there's nobody that's gonna, there's no way they're gonna make the cleanest break, and there's no way they're gonna remain totally unassociated with Game of Thrones. There's going to be similarities. That's fine.
Indeed. But one of the ways that I think that Rafe was planning on going ahead and keeping it a little separate was not casting obvious choices from Game of Thrones into roles in the Wheel of Time. And so that was a very interesting statement to me, because of course, again, when I actually first heard that Wheel of Time was going to be started this close to the end of Game of Thrones, I was absolutely sitting there being like, wow, there are so many characters from Game of Thrones that would work really well as characters in the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and I mean, let's give credit where credit is due. The reason Amazon snapped up the Wheel of Time is because they did Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones was wildly successful, and now they're going, hey, we can actually do a successful fantasy series. And so now Amazon is developing both Game of Thrones and there's a Lord of the Rings. Or I'm sorry. Amazon snatched up Wheel of Time, and they're doing a Lord of the Rings series as well.
Correct. Yes, that is true.
So, I mean, I will say thank you to Game of Thrones for, showing producers that it is possible to have a successful fantasy TV series.
Also, on the same level, fuck off Game of Thrones, because you also showed us how to absolutely fall on the landing of a fantasy series.
Yeah.
That is also true.
Oh,
that is also true.
We talked about this in the pre-show too. So everybody's going to get warned. If you're one of those people, and I swear to the creator, and you come to me and or this podcast and you say anything about Wheel of Time got this from the Game of Thrones, I will spoil the entire series at every turn I get as the episodes come out. I promise you. Mercilessly.
It's funny because when I was actually going ahead and watching Game of Thrones, because I did actually read Game of Thrones, the book, which anybody who's actually familiar with the series will know that A Song of Ice and Fire is the name of the series. Game of Thrones is the name of the book of book one.
Mm-hmm.
And there was actually a teacher that was that had read all of the books and had said that he implemented a policy in his classroom that if anyone went ahead and anytime that he was really annoyed at a student or whatever for not doing what they were supposed to be doing, or breaking a rule or doing anything like that, he would just tell his whole class what the next death was going to be in the television show. And it was highly effective.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that is exactly the kind of thing that you're looking for, because I would not have been able to do that with Game of Thrones. And of course, most people didn't actually read all of the books in A Song of Ice and Fire before watching the television series. So if you have not read all the books and you come at us with that stuff, we will tell you who's dying next.
Oh, yeah. We will. And it won't just be, oh, this person dies. It will be entirely how and when and where.
Oh, yeah.
And by whose
It's going to be like in the 3rd minute of episode 5. This person is going to die in this way.
So in the words
y'all have been warned.
In the words of Gerald Butler from Law Abiding Citizen, it's gonna be biblical.
So just make sure that you mind your P's and Q's. We already know there's going to be some similarities. We already know, but just a couple things to keep in mind. If you're going to come at us with with a statement like that, make sure first off it is factual. And second off, make sure that you've already taken into account the fact that it's an adaptation of the book series. Okay? It is not
a reproduction
of the book series. As evidence of that, there was, and now I have to find out what her name is, but there was another casting. There was a rumor. I don't know if it was confirmed now, because I was on vacation and they announced it right before I went on vacation. But there was a rumor that there was a female actor who was cast, and they gave her a female name with the last name Ibara, and they were saying that it was going to be Perrin's sister, and Perrin doesn't have a sister in the books.
The more prevailing theory that I've heard, and this is actually, so Nay Bliss, he did a video talking about this actor, and the more I listened to his theory on it, the more I could see it happening. But if she is cast as a female Ibara, that he says wife, I could to have the Ibara last name, it would have to be wife.
Right.
To maybe add more of a backstory for Perrin. To make it harder for Perrin to make his decision in book 1.
Okay.
To leave Amon's field.
That wouldn't make any sense. No.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
That's what I'm saying. If they are going to cast a female Ibara,
if they do something like that, I would actually be with everybody else on, like, again, this is like even outside of adaptation now.
Yeah. I don't necessarily like it, but if they absolutely are determined, Rafe and the rest of the showrunner or the writers are going to make this happen, that's the only way I could see it, because it can add to Perrin's backstory. I don't
Helena
like
Westerman.
Also, like, why would that make any sense?
I don't know. Honestly,
Like,
I think it's more of a...
Prime has not gone ahead and announced anything like that, so
I think it's far more likely that it's just to throw off people as to who she's really going to be.
They've got
perhaps.
So they've got it's Helena Westerman, and they've got her. And this is unconfirmed. This is rumor, but the rumor that they have down for her is that she is playing a character named Layla Ibara, and there is no Layla Ibara in the books. So they're wondering if that is another
spoiler alert.
You just want me to have some taint, and it's not going to happen.
That's not actually.
You wouldn't know this in the first book.
Yeah. So the theory that I heard was that it was like a code name. Like, she actually is being cast as something else, but they're putting Layla Ibara as a code name so that you don't know who she's supposed to be. Which is a common thing to do.
Where did anybody get that she was cast, though?
I've got, if you go to the Daily Trolloc on Reddit, if you go to the Daily Trolloc subreddit, there's a everything we know about the Wheel of Time on Prime casting, and he's got a bunch of stuff written down here that, and this is in the unconfirmed section, but there's also like Natty and Abel Coffin that we believe that they were cast, but again, it's not like actually been officially announced, and it's not on the IMDb page. So, but this is the big one that's got everybody kind of going, like, what's going on with that? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. There is also another theory that they're rolling, because there's a number of young women in Emmons Field that, they just don't want to have 800 people in a village, and they don't want to cast all 800 people. So another theory is that they're just going to do, one of the other young women in Emmons Field. They're going to say, okay, we're going to roll these 3 very, very minor characters into one character, and we're going to give them ties to the main story by saying this is Perrin's sister. So again,
okay,
it's an adaptation, not a reproduction. But I am super excited about the casting for Tam Al'Thor. I think this is going to be awesome. I'm super excited about the rest of the kind of the casting news. I find myself, I know that Wheel of Time Wednesday is only the first Wednesday of every month, but I find myself on the hashtag Twitter of Time on Twitter, refreshing, looking for little bits and pieces and loveliness, and
like a crack addiction.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Well, and then Rafe doesn't help, Thanks, by the way, Rafe. We absolutely love it when you give us these, but damn, you're not helping the addiction, because he dropped one on us. Was it yesterday? Yeah, he dropped one on us yesterday.
Yeah, on the 13th.
That they're already starting production. Oh yeah, yesterday. For those of you listening,
yeah,
that would have been
13th.
Wednesday the 13th.
13th.
Which is an unofficial Wheel of Time Wednesday, but he dropped on us that they've already started pre-production for season 2, which I think is freaking phenomenal. I think that's awesome. I'm stupid excited about that. Now, one thing people need to realize, though, is that doesn't necessarily mean that the second season will ever see the light of day. That's not a guarantee. That's just, they've got enough hype and enough popularity and enough budget to start pre-production on season 2, which is a very, very good thing. But if season 1 tanks, which we have to acknowledge is a possibility, I think it's minute.
Don't say that.
I think it's minute.
No, if we go ahead and we don't talk about it ever, then it doesn't happen.
Okay. Well, here, I'm knocking on wood right now. There we go. But I am very, very excited. But Rafe dropped it on us that they're already starting production for season 2, which means we can expect to get a lot more casting information. And we can also expect that there are a lot more than 6 people cast.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what's in the... I mean,
Yeah,
1, 2,
seven.
3,
Yeah,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Is it 8?
8.
Right now we have 8
8.
confirmed.
Well, because there's the Emmons
Yeah, you're
Field
right,
5, Moraine,
And now
Land,
Tam.
Yeah.
Tam.
Yep.
And there's a lot more than 8 people sitting at the table that we saw.
Oh yeah, when you watch that first reading, there's a
Yeah.
lot more. And I really feel like to do the adaptation justice, they really should introduce Padan Fain pretty quickly. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I believe in their abilities. I think Rafe is a fantastic talent. I think he's amazing, and I love the episodes that he's done for like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I think Chuck was another one, and I love
Chuck
those.
was big, yeah.
And so I'm super happy for that, and I really believe in his capability. I've really enjoyed interacting with the different production members on Twitter, and even like Rosamund Pike, she's done some amazing things, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what she just did. She just did one about Marie Curie, and I'm really excited to see that one too. As a matter of fact, I think she rapped for that right before she went and did.
Yeah, she tweeted about it that she was like, "Goodbye, Marie. Hello, Moraine."
Yeah.
She actually had like the tweet right before production started. Like it was a few days before the first read through.
Yeah, and it was just really exciting. I think they're doing a really great job with the casting. I'm really excited. I'm stupid excited.
Hey Josh.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Wheel of Time? Are you excited at all?
I'm pretty excited. I don't know if I am I giving off that energy. I sure hope I am.
It's definitely big excite energy, which is very similar to big dick energy, but slightly different.
I have a little bit of a cold left over. Anyway,
all right, I will not make you laugh.
No, go for it. It's good for me. It'll bring out my lung capacities.
Good. Also, Andrew, quick reminder: edit that part out.
You know what? You smart ass. Just for that, I'm definitely gonna edit it out because I am not failing the challenge.
Me either.
You don't want more.
I was gonna threaten to leave it in, but it only hurts me.
Mm-hmm.
It does indeed. That it does.
Especially because remember that I did the challenge last time and it wasn't even that bad.
Oh, snap.
Yeah?
That's intense. That's some serious throwdown.
It's fighting
right there.
words. I'm gonna walk that back right now.
So if you wind up getting a package from South Carolina, you might want to consider opening it outside.
I always open my packages outside. It guarantees that my neighbors get a show.
I swear I'm gonna freaking mail you like one of those bag of dicks or something.
I'll open it outside, don't worry.
I don't think they'll explode, but you never know.
I got the hiccups now, you bastards.
Don't blame me.
Did you guys ever see... Okay, so this is totally off topic in some ways. But did you guys ever see... There was a guy on YouTube who like has a channel where he like invents things or like specifically like makes things that are ideas that he has or like ideas that his fans send him or whatever. And he's this like super good engineer, but he's also like a little niche.
Is that the guy that always gets electrocuted?
Probably.
Electro Boom.
That sounds correct, but also it's not Electro. I do not remember it being that, and I'm pretty sure I would remember it being that. But anyway, he built this thing for that was a package.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
That he was like looking for people to steal because it was right around like Christmas or whatever. And so it was this thing
the
that
glitter
like shot
stink
glitter
bomb.
out. Yeah, it was the glitter stink
sprayed
bomb.
like liquid ass
amazing.
at him.
Yes.
And everything. Yeah.
Yes.
So for those of you who do not recognize this, because apparently everybody on the podcast does, he actually made this this thing that was a device that had 4 cell phones taped around it, like on the inside of a package, and it looked like an Amazon package.
Yes.
And then inside, if you pulled the top of it off,
it activated
if you
the
pulled
mechanism.
it all the way off, it activated the mechanism, and it sprayed like skunk spray wherever you were. And then it also had this top that there was like a crater or like a depression that was filled with glitter, and it would just spin really fast so that it would shoot glitter everywhere on whoever it was and in the whatever vehicle or location or home or whatever you were in when you opened it. And then it also had like GPS in it, so that when they like inevitably tossed it out of their car or like left it somewhere, because you don't want this bullshit stink bomb glitter piece of shit anywhere near you, he could then go retrieve it, reset it, and then put it back on his doorstep. It was awesome.
I have just posted the video to the Discord channel, and then later on I will tweet the video out so that you guys can go back through our feed and see it. But no, the guy,
it's really good. So it was really funny. I really appreciated it. Like, I've not always appreciated everything he's done, but like that particular video was great.
I don't always appreciate
the
videos
to actually
that you make,
watch it,
but when I do, they cause chaos for other people. Albeit deserved.
No, there was also another one, and I think it was the same guy. Please correct me if I'm wrong. He also made a racist Elmo.
That one I don't know.
It was also hilarious. It might not have been the same guy. There's another guy who actually does like very similar things as far as like doing cool projects. And the two that I remember that were both the same guy, and as I said, it might be a different guy than the stink bomb, glitter bomb. But he made two things. Number one was a robot or like a machine that had an airsoft gun that anytime that he got hit in Fortnite, it would shoot him in the butt.
What?
Which was
an airsoft
amazing. Gun? An airsoft gun?
Why?
Yeah, what's an aerosoft gun?
An aerosoft?
Yeah, I don't know what an aerosoft gun is.
Andrew?
You deserve this.
Out there.
You have been giving me shit this entire night. You deserve this.
I'm just going to throw out there that of all of the people who should be giving me shit about the pronunciation.
Look, okay, I don't get many chances to. I have to seize one.
Gun. An airsoft gun. And then the other one that he did, he went ahead and made an Elmo that could look at a person, gauge what they looked like based on facial features, put them into a particular category of race, and then say a racist comment about them based on the race that it had determined that they were. And it was hilarious.
I'm going to say that that's
what you have here,
probably a different guy.
It might
with
be.
The glitter bomb, you have chaotic good. Then with the aerosoft machine, you have chaotic neutral. And then the I'm glad you corrected yourself. Good job. And then the Elmo is just chaotic evil.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
So the guy who does the glitter bomb is Mark Rober. He also does things like he actually made an actual pool full of Jello. Again, my hiccups. He did a pool full of Orbeez. He did the world's largest Nerf gun, the world's largest squirt.
Yeah, so it's definitely another person.
Yeah.
The racist Elmo was...
Mark Rober tries to keep it pretty family friendly. For the most part. Oh my gosh. I hate hiccups.
Michael Reeves. Is that him? The Michael Reeves that made the racist Elmo? The Trigger Me Elmo?
Might be. Trigger, that's it. That's exactly what it is. Oh my gosh. Yep. Yes, no, that's 100% Michael Reeves. And I will admit that, like, he actually is pretty funny. I'm not, like, super... his videos are not the best. Like, he's not a terribly good presenter. But he is funny, and like his ideas are really cool. And again, the fact that he actually does create them is really dope. So if you like get a chance to go and watch the Trigger Me Elmo is funny. It's not actually that great of an episode because without spoiling anything, the Trigger Me Elmo is not at like it functions, but it doesn't actually really do anything that cool in the video. But the one with the airsoft gun is absolutely super fun. Like watch
the top
episode,
two comments.
Amazing.
I like the top 2 comments on the Trigger Me Elmo episode. The first one is, "You have Deadpool's humor and Peter Parker's brains," and the second one is, "This man took time out of his life to make a racist Elmo. Respect him." And it's like, okay.
Yep. Oh, speaking of really great YouTube comments, since not a ton of people are, well, I'm just not going to use his name. A somewhat famous person came into the escape room the other day, and they were in Into the Woods, which prompted me to go look up Into the Woods' like a few songs while they were playing, because Into the Woods is a great show. So if you haven't seen it, well, first of all, if you haven't seen it, go see it, you fucking plebeian. Second, I went ahead and watched the video for Agony, the film version. The film, by the way, with Meryl Streep and
Johnny Depp.
Is Johnny Depp in that movie?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't even remember that. Yeah, no, you're totally right. And Johnny Depp, and a number of other really good people, and Emily Blunt, also super amazing. Anyway, point is, if you watch the video for Agony on YouTube, it is incredibly dramatic. Obviously, both of them are playing. The 2 characters in it are the brothers Charming. Basically Prince Charming and Prince Charming, because there are too many princesses in Into the Woods, so making just one Prince Charming doesn't make any sense. In fact, even just making 2 Prince Charmings doesn't make sense, but that actually becomes a joke. Anyway, all of this to say that there are 2 Prince Charmings, and they're both insanely dramatic. And the top comment, which was absolutely hilarious, was, "It feels like the director told them, the person who's the most dramatic gets the other person's salary." And it was amazing.
Nice.
Because it describes the video so well. Anyway, I just had to throw that out there because I thought it was an absolutely wonderful YouTube comment. And especially as somebody who doesn't usually look at the YouTube comments, because normally they're just cancer, it was a super refreshing thing to see that it was wonderful YouTube comments. And so now we have 2, because the humor of Deadpool and the brains of Peter Parker is an amazing comment. So props to the people who are the top comment on the Into the Woods video and the Trigger Me Elmo video. Just throwing that out there.
Right. There is some good things. There's some good things in this world. And they are good.
No, it's all garbage.
Can you imagine how much better the pranks would be, though, if you could do them with the one power? Like,
dude, yeah.
I mean,
are you kidding me? The Black Tower is just full of that shit.
If we were talking, this is why I say, as I've said numerous times, that there needs to be a spin-off series, a Clone Wars style series about the Black Tower. That needs to happen. That just needs to happen. And in it, along with how dark and gritty it needs to be, there needs to be just a sick, twisted sense of humor and hiccups. A really in-depth prank / hazing system for newcomers to the Black Tower. I'm sorry, that just needs to happen.
Hell yeah. No, I agree wholeheartedly. And all played to Shiva.
Exactly.
Andrew, you're playing who?
Who do you want to play, Andrew?
That was a question, not a statement.
Oh, I thought it was a statement. I thought you had an idea for me.
Come on, casting director Daniel. Let's do this.
Yes, casting director. Who do you think I should play?
Well, I mean, you can't be either of the main two because Logain and Taim are both in the actual show, and I think that we want to shy away from going ahead and doing those because it's way more fun if you just leave them out of it and just do like the secondary and or tertiary characters in the Black Tower. But Androl's already taken because obviously. I just took Deshiva.
I'll take Narishma.
All right, cool. Josh?
I will take Logain. I think that would be really fun.
Bruh,
I think that'd be
just said that we're not. Dude, do you even listen?
No, I don't. What in all of our experience together makes you think I listen?
What? The escape room?
Exactly. Oh, if you're gonna pigeonhole it into secondhand characters,
which is what I did and specifically said.
I don't wanna.
Just FYI.
I don't wanna.
All right, fine. Well, then you're not in the show.
I don't know, man. There's so many great options.
I mean, there's still Dammer Flynn. There's still what's his name, Gray.
No, you know what? Just for all of this, Josh, you know who you're playing?
Who am I playing?
Eben Hopwell. Get out of my face.
Oh.
You dick.
Ladies and gentlemen, shots fired at the Black Tower.
Also, I love how anybody who actually kept listening after this, I mean, like, these aren't actually spoilers.
No, they're not. They're just their names.
Also, like, they're so confused right now. They're like, none of these names are things I've read yet.
Keep
what
reading, people.
Happening?
Keep reading, people. You'll get there.
Actually, book one, you know about Logain, and that's it.
That's true.
Because he's in book one.
He is in book one, yes.
So technically, whoever brought up Logain's name first technically has spoiled
it was me.
What happens after the first book.
It was me. I'll post a video of me shoving taint down my throat.
That does not conjure a positive image in the mind.
Well, that's unfortunate for one of us, isn't it?
Yeah, you.
Anyway. Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey,
it's going great.
Well, pretty good. Just talking with the Black Tower podcast guys.
Yeah,
Weird.
Just doing the thing.
So am I.
Oh, so have we talked about what Rafe put out about the new-ish writing room? The physical room itself?
We have not talked about the physical thing itself.
Pretty funny. It was a good example, sense of humor from Rafe. So it includes the interesting and important information that the writing room, at least part of working on season 2, has already begun. So Rafe tweeted out, we did start to talk about this because we mentioned it on the 13th.
We started. We probably got caught off on a tangent.
Did we get caught off on a tangent, or did we actually talk about it?
No, we talked about this because we talked about my apartment.
But that was in the pre-show.
Oh, was it?
Oh, yeah, that was pre-show.
Was that actually all in the pre-show?
We literally got started to talk about this and got so derailed and sidetracked that we don't even know how badly we got derailed and sidetracked.
I mean, welcome to the Black Tower.
That's pretty much it.
Welcome to the tower. We get so derailed.
We have ADOS, attention deficit. Ooh, shiny. But so they had the check builders.
I have just met you, but I love you. Squirrel.
Yeah. So they had the check builders like creating the room for the writers room for them to work in. And when you look at the picture, you look at a table, with a fair number of chairs for writers, a little TV in the corner, a couch to relax on, one easel, and one of the smallest whiteboards on a wall that size I have ever seen. Literally one. And so Rafe is like, I don't think they realize how many whiteboards are needed to break down an entire season of television. And I'm judging based on this comment, it takes more than one.
Oh, it does.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing that they technically could have done was just put smart screens in all of the walls, which that would have been fine.
Another fun interaction we had on Twitter, and I don't know if you guys saw this, but I think it was Michael Kramer and Kate Redding, their joint account. They made the comment of, what are those things in the middle? Hold on, I gotta pull this up because it was pretty funny. They were talking about the table. The holes in the middle of the table
already, Josh.
Here we go. Michael Kramer, Kate Redding. Are those ashtrays or voting ballot slots or portals to another place? And someone else said ashtrays of a certain age. Indeed, that was the Gerbil Master at Gerbil_Horde. And one of my responses was, it's definitely a Tirangreal of some type. There was interactions going on, and my OCD got the better of me. They are actually just power strips in the middle of the table so that you can plug in your laptop. And I posted that. And then Michael Kramer and Kate Redding responded to me and said, we're going with incinerator chute. Practical, unfussy, and ruthless.
So basically what season 2 of Wheel of Time is going to be?
Exactly.
I don't know. I am, now that you mention OCD, and the more I look at the picture, the more it annoys me that they are not in line with each other.
Yes.
I stopped looking at the picture because of the problems.
Yeah.
Rafe, help.
Can someone please turn the table
around? Why wouldn't you just put those in the absolute square center of the table?
In the absolute
Well, it's how the tables are built. So
is the absolute center of the table similar to an airsoft gun?
Listen, Daniel, do not make me come back to LA.
We had so much fun, though. Why would I not make you come back to LA?
Okay, fair enough. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. We should do that again.
We will, once you get vacation days again. Actually, before then, we should just all come out to Utah or South Carolina.
Oh, see, there you go. We should rotate.
Agreed. I was told there were fun things to do in South Carolina that weren't Myrtle Beach, and therefore I am holding Andrew to that statement.
Oh, yeah, there's always fun things to do besides Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is one of those things that, like, it's only exciting if you're a tourist or if you want really cheap knockoff novelty gifts. Because if you go to Myrtle Beach and you buy like
underestimate my desire for really cheap knockoff novelty gifts.
I mean, that's fine. We can go to Myrtle Beach and you can get you one of those there katanas.
Hey,
katanas.
Hashtag Mall Ninja.
But it's so
if I get a katana, can I modify its handle so that it's all heron marked?
Yeah, you could have a heron marked bayonet on your airsoft gun.
Yeah, there it is.
You might be a sword master or blade master.
Heron marked blade master. I don't know. You're weird.
Bitch, you better believe I'm a sword master.
Sword. No, but I think I
am very adept with my own particular sword.
Who do you guys think?
All right,
on a
scale,
out
on that note. Goodbye.
On just on some of the speculation, because there's been a lot of speculation when it comes to casting.
Sure.
What is one actor that you guys absolutely love that you really, really, really want to see in the series, and what part do you want them to play? Daniel, go.
So actually, I have a pretty quick answer to that, just because I actually saw it and could not have agreed more. Now, it's absolutely not happening. Let me be very clear. And it's one of those ones that I knew wasn't happening very, very quickly after I heard it. Because while this part of Tom Marilyn has not been cast, someone suggested, and I, as I said, could not agree more, with Sir Patrick Stewart being cast as Tom Marilyn. And I thought that was so good.
Really?
It's never going to happen. but I thought it was an amazing choice for Tom Marilyn. I think that Patrick Stewart would do such a good job with the role, but also it's not happening.
Yeah, well, first off, Patrick Stewart would be an amazing, actor in any role he played. Let's be honest.
You're not wrong.
The dude's an amazing actor. Tom Marilyn, I think he's got the bard like manner for it. I think because he started in the Shakespeare theater, right? So he's got the presence for it. That might be a really good match. I don't know if he's physically able to do a lot, because he is getting older, so he has a challenge, moving around a lot. But and Tom Marilyn, he has to be pretty spry. So, but no, I can see that. I can go with that.
But that was kind of one of my dream casts, as far as like, if you could just have, if there are no restrictions, any actor, any role, boom.
I like
that was one of the ones that I heard, and I was just like, oh my god,
I like it.
That would be balls to the wall.
I could get behind that. I could ship that. What about you, Andrew? What do you got?
It changes from time to time, so what character I would think about the casting for the most part.
Yes.
So obviously that is not a character that you listeners will meet in the first book. So I cannot say that character's name.
I think you can say the character's name, but you just don't have to mention what the character does. I don't think it's a spoiler just to mention a name.
Is that do we have that as a consensus here? Do we all agree names aren't spoilers?
So say we all?
Daniel is conveniently quiet on the matter.
I was right. He's like, no, I'm going to tune out so that when Andrew says something, I'm going to make him fill his mouth with some taint too.
Ugh. That just sounds so bad. So bad.
Oh,
I can try to think.
Good.
I can try to think of one from the first book.
You know what? That might be the best anyway. Just from the first season, first book, that kind of a thing. Just because.
Yeah, let me see if I can
find. That's kind of where we're focusing anyway.
So this is one that I've seen on a fan casting that I'm not entirely sure if I'm all for it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking to make sure this is the person I think it is. And I think it is. No, it is not. Yes, it is. So do you know who Sarai Ronan is?
Do I know what?
Who Saoirse Ronan is? And I'm sure I'm saying her name absolutely wrong, but here, I will post a link to the Wikipedia in our Discord.
Yeah,
so you should be able to see that now.
Pulling it up.
And I think that she could do very well as Elaine.
Oh, okay.
Why does it sound like somebody is knocking on somebody's window?
Oh, you know what? Shit, that's me.
I'm not the only one that heard that, right?
Sorry. I had something hanging on my my mic here, and every time I moved, it was like do 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 do. My bad. Sorry, guys. No, I could see that. I could see that for Elaine.
Oh, welcome back.
It happens.
Saoirse.
Yeah, I think she could do.
That's what it says in the thing he just posted. It's got a pronunciation
Saoirse?
guide, and it says her name is pronounced Saoirse or Saoirse. Saoirse.
Yeah, I would have never gotten that
here. Which actually that makes me think of.
I actually totally would have pronounced that as soiree.
I mean, she does have a Golden Globe and has been nominated for Academy Awards, for 3 Academy Awards and 4 British Academy Film Awards.
Ooh. And you know those are important because they're British.
She is the one I was thinking about, because she is the girl I know from, remember the book, The Lovely Bones, that became a movie?
Correct.
I was in high school, they made us, she played the girl in the movie, and they made us read the book, and then and for like 3 days straight, they had the entire school watch the movie. Jesus. Like during like during the end of, it was like one of those things, like some program to help get kids involved in reading and stuff. And I actually wound up loving the book and the movie.
Good.
And when I think of Elaine, when you first meet her, it's this kind of innocent, naive-ish, well, not ish, but naive, kind of like, I don't really know the world kind of girl.
No. Naive is a different character.
You know what? Naive.
No,
not
that's
naive.
just because it was a funny. You didn't say it wrong. That was just because it was a funny thing.
I know.
Also, Naive's pretty naive. So
yeah, but I think she could pull off.
I like that. I
agree.
So in my dream casting, if I'm being completely and totally, blunt here, I feel like I would really love it if Billy Zane got a chance at redemption.
You fucking brown.
I love Billy Zane. I love Billy Zane.
Damn it. No. No one on this podcast is going to disagree with you. Just also, you brown nosing fuck.
Well, just because Billy Zane listens to the podcast, I mean, come on, man. I'm just calling it honest, okay? Billy, I'm not trying to brown nose. Mr. Zane.
Oh. No. You don't understand. It's not Billy who listens to the podcast. It's Rafe, and now he's going to cast Billy, and he's going to be like, I wasn't thinking about you for one of these roles until I heard it on the Black Tower, and then Billy Zane's going to be like, the Black Tower pot, what's that? And then he's going to listen, and then you're going to get called up.
That was a really good idea, Josh. You're a pretty cool guy. You should come hang out with us.
When we started casting, I said I would never cast anybody from that horrendous pilot.
But the boys at the Black Tower podcast,
Billy Zane was just so damn good.
My instinct was to go ahead and say, Winter Dragon, fuck you right in the butthole. But then I heard this guy Josh say something on this podcast that I always listen to religiously every Friday, except for the couple of times that it hasn't come out on Friday.
Your patronage means everything to us.
Yeah. But my other and major dreamcast, whose character name I will not say because you have not met her in the first book, but those of you that know who my favorite character is will know who I'm talking about. And if not, whenever you see this person,
holy shit, just say that. No.
See, I told you that's what he tried to do, Andrew.
Who is it?
Well, no, I wasn't saying the Black Tower podcast.
Name of
I have been
character.
Andrew.
I'm asking you to say the name of whoever the actress that you want to play her.
And I am Andrew, and I'm going to go cry myself to sleep in my emo corner.
Stop. Who's the actress?
Stop whining.
Who do you want her to play?
Stop whining.
Karen Gillan.
Ooh, that's a good one. I think she would make an excellent addition to that people.
Yes. No, could not agree more. I think that she might actually be a little old to play the particular character.
Almost got you.
I just had the picture
however,
of
I mean, she's only 31.
No, and that's legit. And to be fair, granted, like, again, there are plenty of other
31.
people who have either been cast already or that could play other roles and whatnot who are not actually the age that the character is. But
I mean, look, if she could play Martha in Jumanji, she could handle who I'm thinking about.
Well, no, wasn't she?
Well, she plays Nebula as well.
Yeah,
but she played Martha in Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah,
as
so
well
she
as Martha
acts
in the next
like
level.
a teenager, but she's not. Because she plays the after transformation.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but how many actors have we seen that are clearly like in their late 20s, early 30s that are playing someone that's like 17 on TV?
No, again, that's what I just said.
Here's
stop
one.
being so critical of everything, Daniel. God.
Hey, Andrew.
Ladies and gentlemen, the madness is particularly thick tonight.
It's because Daniel and I love giving each other shit.
So here's...
Do me a favor.
Depends on the favor.
Can you start an investigation into Hunter Biden for me?
Can I start a what? I actually didn't hear you.
I said, can you start an investigation into Hunter Biden for me? Do you actually not know what I'm referencing? Holy crap, Andrew.
Nope. I actually
Wow.
I am uncultured swine.
You are. It's kind of big right now. But that's okay. That's okay.
We're not actually going to get into that on the podcast.
Who do you think would be a good Senbui?
Ian McKellen. I don't know.
Okay,
I have no
Daniel,
idea.
I'm going to need you to put the crack pipe down. Okay? Put it down.
Whoa.
Put it down, sir.
Whoa. It's okay. It's e-meth.
E-meth? What the fuck?
Dude, have you guys never seen that? Oh my god. So they did a commercial they did a commercial that was a parody commercial on Saturday Night Live when Aaron Paul? Wait, that's his name? Aaron Paul?
Yeah.
The guy from Breaking Bad. Yeah, Aaron Paul was hosting. And so they did a commercial that was like, all of the things that they say about like e-cigarettes and whatnot, about how like it's not as bad and like you can actually smoke in different places and blah blah blah. But it was e-meth. And it was absolutely hilarious. If you have not actually watched that particular SNL parody, go watch it. Also, just FYI, I've actually been having a really good time watching all of them, and there is actually like packages of them on YouTube. You can just go on YouTube and look up SNL commercial parodies, and they're all so good. Like their commercial parodies are very possibly the best thing that's come out of Saturday Night Live in the last 10 years. Like fucking phenomenal. Anyway, there's my super minor plug for Saturday Night Live and the fact that
yes, because they need it.
Watch them, right? Hey, I needed a chance to brown nose too, Josh.
That is true. You did, and I'm proud of you. You did good.
I did.
You did
it
good.
Also, one of my favorite stand-up comedians came out of a job at Saturday Night Live. And I was just reminded of that because I watched one of his stand-up specials the other day, and John Mulaney was like, "Oh yeah, I had this little job over at Saturday Night Live," and I was like, "Oh yeah, you were on that. You were a writer. Holy shit! I had forgotten." Anyway,
well, that's good.
But yeah,
no, I as far as any other things, like I think it helps when they start talking about casting. I think it helps that I don't. I know Daniel, you've got some more experience in the production, the movie production side as well. Like I've never worried too much about casting, because a talented production team, quite frankly, it doesn't matter. They can make it work if they're good at what they do. And so when it comes to Rosamund Pike is too tall and Perrin is black, and and everybody's like throwing all these fits, and I'm going, guys,
Perrin's black.
I'm going, guys, it doesn't matter how the appearance of the actor is. Now, granted, there are some things that will be more difficult to accept. Like, for instance, when we're talking about Tom Marilyn, they freaking describe him every single time you see Tom Marilyn. They talk about his billowy white mustache. And it's like, if he doesn't have a big ass white mustache and white hair, I'm gonna freak. I'm gonna be okay with it, but it will be an adjustment. It will take me a minute to go, okay, my Tom apparently doesn't have a mustache. That's fine. But it's the physical appearance of
right. Much? Jesus Christ.
The physical appearance of the actor portraying the character is secondary to the story surrounding the actor and their ability to play that character in that environment. So,
all right, so let me piggyback on that just a little bit, because I actually totally agree in almost every production. But there are things that happen that are too far outside of that. Like, for example, we actually talked about this a lot when I was in high school, because I was in a production of Hairspray in high school. And
right.
Things that are actually incredibly story relevant are very problematic with that, because if they had done the movie, for example, and any of the nicest kids in town had been black, or any of the like Negro Day kids had not been black, that would have actually been a problem. Also, things like now this one again is not as necessary, but it is kind of one of those moments where you sort of take a second look, and it can very much pull you out. Also, right. in the ages past, I was in a production of The Sound of Music. And I was not part of the Von Trapp family, but the Von Trapp family that we had was very, very diverse. There was a white one, an Asian one, a black one, and then two that were very ethnically ambiguous as far as whether they were or were not. Who knows?
Yeah. That now I can see
in that
again.
particular case, for anyone who does not know the show, The Sound of Music, the Von Trapp family all come from the same parents. The Von Trapps are two parents and then their children. Like those two's children. And so it did end up changing the story just a little bit. I mean, like, not actually, because they just played it as though it was something that mattered. But it did end up actually changing it a little bit, that, Captain Von Trapp had very well may have gotten around a lot more during than had been originally purported in the show. But again, all of this to say that there are definitely casting choices that can be made that can be somewhat problematic based on very story important things. But most of the time, I totally agree with you in terms of the very first thing that you need to worry about is, can they do the role, and can they do the role justice? Because if their acting is up to the challenge, or in some cases, with certain productions of things, they're singing or they're dancing, or all three of them, or whatever it is that the production needs as far as what the role is asking for, that is absolutely first and foremost. Totally agreed.
Yeah.
Then worry about the whether they actually look like the part later, which is, of course, again, as you said, I am unfortunately fairly well versed in the fact that most of the time in this town, it is the other way around.
Yeah.
They only call in people who actually look pretty close to the role. And then find the person of those who can do it the best, which, granted, again, in Hollywood, not a ton of people are actually going to get called in for the role if they can't do it justice. So in most cases, you're talking about just picking somebody who looks pretty close to the role, who everybody in the room can do it justice, who's the one we like the best. But sometimes you end up cutting out great, amazing people because they're just a little too tall, or just a little too short, or blonde, or black, or whatever, when it really wasn't that important to the story, and you really just should have gone with the person who was the best at the role.
Right. And on some level, again, like, just based on how the the casting process works. You send in your sample material, whether that be, a headshot and a resume, or, a video, or, whatever the case may, whatever sample material they're looking for, could also tell you a lot about the production, by the way. But you're going to have to perform that way. And I know people who have talked about, all kinds of different, methods and styles, and how you should, handle yourself, and how you should present yourself when you're auditioning. There is something to be said about appearance, obviously. But if you can portray the character and do the character justice, that should be, and you will find that in a lot of the productions that do really well and are really successful and really well made, you find people who are very, very talented actors, and the appearance can be doctored or, cured with, makeup and CGI and costuming and blah, blah, blah. So, there's a lot of really great work going into it. I think they're doing a really great job with the casting, but when you've got a cast that's such a blank slate, there's a couple of defining features, such as Perrin's broad shoulders. That's the only real definitive description we get of him. Matt, his mischievous look. It's kind of a vague description. Rand, he's very tall. He has red hair and,
and gray blue eyes.
And like, that's the end of the descriptions pretty much that we get. And so it's kind of like, when people, when you start as a casting director, I put on my casting director hat because I'm so well versed and experienced. But I look at that and I go, okay, we're literally looking for anybody. So let's get a stocky guy. So give me a pile with all the stocky guys over here. Give me a pile with all the mischievous looking dudes right here, and then give me a pile with all the gingers over here. I mean, and there's your appearance when it comes to casting. And then you can start weeding them out based on, who does the best at.
Well, and of course, especially
in the part,
in terms of when you're talking about hair color, fucking Emilia Clarke is brunette as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Game of Thrones, she is a platinum blonde. So it's not like on that level, there's so much freedom for different things like that.
Scarlett Johansson, in every single Marvel movie, she's had a different hair color and style.
Correct. Which I think is amazing and hilarious. But also,
I absolutely love that about her character.
Goes up to like show exactly that point.
Oh yeah. And she even made comments about how the frequent needing to touch up the dye in her hair and the frequent changes in dye in her hair. Like in Endgame, whenever she went from looking like just a total redhead for scenes and then the red and blonde hair. She made remarks on how I believe there were times where she had to take a break for a while because it was literally destroying her hair.
Mm-hmm. Which also is actually, I mean, some props to you, Scarlett, for actually doing that, because I mean, so many other people would have just done a wig and it would have looked fine. I'm certainly not saying that wigs don't look fine, but her hair looked really good in those movies. And part of the reason why is because with the exception of the very first one, which isn't even actually an Avengers movie, I think in the very first movie that she shows up, which is Iron Man 2, it actually was a wig.
Yeah, I'm not surprised with that. But no, I feel like, I'm very, very excited about this cast. I think they've done a really great job of pulling people in. And I realize, the only things we have to go on are previous roles they've played and, the little write-up that Rafe gives them. And I know on some level Rafe is, he's got to be, he's not going to badmouth someone he just hired. But at the same it's the same site, he's not going to hire someone that he would have to lie about. So if he's going to hire someone and he knows he's going to have to promote this person, he's going to want to make sure, because his own reputation is on the line, he's going to want to make sure he gets someone who can do the job well.
Yeah, I mean,
and so I really believe in his ability, and was it is it Catherine Hendry?
For who?
Kelly Hendry, who's the casting director, at KV Hendry on Twitter. It's really cool. I think they're doing a lot of really good work to make sure that they have some really good people for the roles. And we have their word and their reputation. And I think Rafe has more than earned a good reputation in this community, or in the TV community, in the small screen community. And Kelly Hendry, I don't know much of the work that she's done, but I know she's done a lot of work. So I'm really excited for it. I think they've put it on the line, and you can tell when someone's sincere and genuine and they really want to do a good job.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we're not going to know for sure until the first episodes come out and we get to see them over a course of a couple episodes. And we get more than, just what we got from the table read. Because there's a lot of the emotion and stuff that goes into it that, one, you're going to give some of it at a table read, but you're not going to go full blown character at a table read. You're
Right.
all just getting familiar.
I mean, if you're new,
I mean, maybe, I guess, but you're really just getting familiar with the lines and the character and how things are going to flow. And a lot of it just depends, one on the writing
more
team
of a chemistry
and the production team. Can they provide the actors with what they need to be able to portray the character in the best way they can? And then the other half is going to be on the characters taking that and devoting themselves to being the best Rand or the best Matt, Perrin, Lan, every character that we see in the series, and just doing the best they can.
Right.
And like you said, I have faith that the entire production team from start to finish with Wheel of Time is going to be able to make that happen. We're going to see a fantastic series because we've already seen how involved they are with the Wheel of Time community that's literally sitting on pins and needles watching every move they make.
Oh yeah.
And if they cast somebody and the entire community is in an uproar about it, I'm sure they're going to say, well, just wait, see how they do, have some faith.
Yep.
Guarantee you're going to be surprised.
Yep. And it's also, with anything, remember, you guys, we have, it takes a lot of work to get these people jiving and on the same frequency. And sometimes there's that chemistry there and sometimes there's just not. And I felt like, watching the cast reading, that first reading, I felt like, watching that, and they were laughing and cutting up and having fun together. It felt really good. Just again, based on the video we're watching, it felt really good. It looked like they were talking to each other and they were joking with each other. It just felt like a really good place to be, like a really happy place to be. And so that gives me a lot of sense that there's a lot of people in there who have good chemistry. They're working really well together as a group, as a cast. And B, of course, we all know how enthusiastic the actors themselves are about the series. And so I'm really excited about it. They look and feel like they're going to do a really great job.
Indeed. And we are definitely looking forward to seeing all of you guys do your best here. We know that everybody who's been cast immediately goes and listens to the Black Tower podcast. So
they do.
We're looking forward to you guys coming out and showing us your best sides. But if you need to edit this moment out, I do actually have a hard out in about 5 minutes. So I think this is a good place to wrap up.
Yeah,
especially if you got a hard out.
Surprise hard out. So I apologize
for
doing that, but
it's better than having a hard in.
Ooh, gross.
So anyway, well, okay, well we can shut this bad boy down.
Indeed. So
thanks everyone for listening.
Indeed. Thank you very much for coming and joining us. As always, we really appreciate all of our listeners coming and listening, period. Also, if you guys want to be more involved with the podcast, we do have a bunch of different ways to contact us. If you get our podcast from Podbean, then you have all of our links right there. But just in case you don't know them, we can be found on Twitter at Tower Podcast. You can send us emails directly if you don't want the whole community to see it, at blacktowerpod@gmail.com. Also, if you want to pop onto our Discord, which you can actually see some fun videos and whatnot that we post even during recording and whatnot, like today on our Discord. Ask us for an invite. We'll be happy to send one over, or it's also usually in our Podbean description as well. And then there are probably a half a dozen other ways to contact us: YouTube, Instagram, all the different ways. So if you find, or if you like a way, find us, because we're findable.
That's true. Well, thank you for tuning in for your weekly dose of madness.
Indeed. For everyone here at the Black Tower Podcast, I have been Daniel.
And I have been your storm leader, Josh.
And I've been Andrew.
Good night.